Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining. I'm Dr. Christina Burns, founder of the Naterna Institute in New York City. Today, we are going to be talking about why maybe you still feel hungry after meals or why you have to have something sweet even after you've eaten. So generally, if you kind of have an insatiable appetite, or if you feel like you just need that extra bit of sweet something after you eat, even though you should be full, it might be an indicator that you could be insulin resistant. Insulin resistance is when your cells don't effectively take up energy and glucose from your bloodstream and use it as energy. What generally happens when you eat food, if you have healthy insulin metabolism, is that you eat the food, your insulin level goes up, and that prompts your cells to open up and gobble up the food that's been broken down into glucose. But if your cells are resistant to insulin, then they don't open up that well. And so the glucose just kind of floats around in your system and your body hasn't gotten the signal that you've eaten and that you should be satisfied. So what do we do about this? We're doing Cliff Notes, but you can tune into my podcast, Fertility in Focus, if you want to hear more details about this. The Cliff Notes are this. You want to reduce toxins because toxins can actually act as diabetogens, messing up your insulin and glucose metabolism. So things like heavy metals, BPA, phthalates found in anything from cosmetics to our foods. Next up, you want to reduce sugar. This is an obvious one because if your insulin levels are always being spiked by sugar and refined foods, then your cells are going to stop responding. So you could be doing this to yourself by having too many sugary drinks, too much alcohol, too many refined foods, or refined sugars. So obviously candy is out, but also cakes and things that are made into refined flours. You'll want to increase your exercise somewhat. Exercise helps insulin resistance by having the cells gobble up the glucose and use it as energy and you burn it off. So if you eat a big meal, try to go for a walk afterwards. And if you don't have an exercise regime as is, you might want to start integrating a little bit of something. Could be as easy as like 20 minutes. You could do some sun salutations, do some stairs, go for a walk. You do want to elevate your heart rate a little bit. Interval training is the best thing to sensitize insulin. Sleep. Sleep is huge for insulin resistance. If you don't sleep well, you're going to have more issues with insulin resistance. So try to prioritize sleep. Don't take in a bunch of caffeine. Try not to drink alcohol at night. These are the things that will mess you up. Plugging into screens, that kind of thing. Last but not least, try to reduce inflammation. So inflammatory foods and lifestyle factors will mess up your insulin and glucose metabolism. So inflammation can come from toxins. It can come from inflammatory foods like gluten or a lot of red meat or even charred foods or fried foods. So try as much as you can to keep inflammation down. Don't go starting to pound a bunch of turmeric to try to deal with bad habits because that has its downsides too. Hopefully this was helpful. If you like what you hear, then please subscribe and share with friends. See you next time.